Hey, guess what it is? It's a later edition. We got a little late start today. A spin class I teach over on Lafayette Street, New York, went late. And I was knee-deep in pussy. Knee-deep in pussy at the juice bar. And, listen, am I going to come here and talk to you lovely people who I love, right on time? Or am I going to take a 2-hour break to have sex with an illegal Mexican chick who, I just got rock-hard abs for, and she wanted to show her appreciation? With that, that nervous laughter in the background, that nervous laughter, that could only mean he's pondering, if I laugh at the Mexican joke, will I have my job at MLB Network? And will Pedro Martinez continue to give his excellent commentary that he gives all the time, that no one understands? Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Stern, the wonderful expert on all sports, father of 17, he's becoming the Jew Warren Cromartie, or Antonio Cromartie.
I just want to jump in on that spin class so I can get those abs that you got working.
First of all,
I got to get that going.
This is why you're a marketing genius. Inadvertently, you didn't even realize you did this. You said jump into the spin class. A perfect time.
Yeah, see what I did?
Well, listen.
How are things, man? What's up?
Well, first of all, listen, KC. If you come to my spin, if you come to my spin class, friend or no friend, you're sweating. You're working. I'm not giving you extra. I mean, the only. Go ahead.
That's fine. I just want to know what kind of music we're playing because when you go to an actual spin class, I've done a couple. They get the kind of music that matches, what you're doing on the bike. So I want to know what does it take to get Artie where he needs to be in the spin class?
Two
words.
What I
want to know.
2 words. Live Adele. Okay? Here's the irony. I listen to Adele to get people in the kind of shape Adele wishes she was in.
Yeah.
All right, those pipes. Okay, so if you don't want, say you wake up one day, Casey, and you say to yourself, you know what, I want to do a lot today, but I don't want to sweat to live Rolling with the Deep.
Yeah.
Guess what? Don't come to my class. Yeah. Even the ballads. We go 100 miles an hour on the bike to someone like you. The ballad about the man who left her for a man. A guy woke up dating her and said, wait a minute, I could date a fat dude who makes money and this will be fine. But he didn't plan on 10 million records the first week. So that's why. I mean, what kind of music do you like, Case? What do you sweat to?
I'm a rock guy. Springsteen, Clapton, anything with a guitar is good for me. Anything with a guitar.
Did you originally like Springsteen because you thought he was Jewish because the een, and then you were disappointed?
No, please, I gave up on that. Please, I'm still trying to get to find out if Kevin Youkilis can get back in the league so we can get a couple of Jews back in the game.
That's your life. You know what, Casey? A lot of people tell me I've won in life in the sense that I'm doing what I always dreamed of doing. Like, I'm having a blast. On the Stern Show, you know what I did one morning on the Stern Show? I won anal ring toss. And
God.
I played the rock star Dave Navarro from Chili Peppers, and Jane's Addiction came in. He was dating Carmen Electra at the time. I love Carmen Electra, of course, as all heterosexual.
Who doesn't?
Right,
who
exactly.
doesn't? Right.
Well, apparently Mariana Rivera, that's not his type. But, so, we'll get to that later. But I said to myself, I'd love to at least talk to her. She's a little aloof. So she comes in and I play anal ring toss. Are you familiar with that?
I missed that. Between Chutes and Ladders and Candyland, I missed that game.
Well, this was a Stern Show game. A stripper would come in and we'd pay her to, get naked. So technically she could also be called a whore by dictionary definition. We would pay her to bend over with her ass propped up, and we would put a pole in it, like a stick, a little stick, like a mini candy cane for Christmas, and we would throw rings at it. We would throw rings at it from about 5 feet away. And it was called anal ring.
I thought that was called cricket. Or is that different?
No, cricket is what an Asian genius tells you how to go on something on the internet. The genius bar at Apple, when he tells you to go onto a website, he goes, put the arrow there. Now cricket. So again, laughing at that is not going to be well for your Ichiro Suzuki.
That's all right.
All right, so I played anal ring. I was the lord of the anal rings. I never lost. So we made a bet. Navarro said, if you beat me in anal ring toss, you could squeeze my wife's tits. And we never talked to his wife. It was like Sharia law. She just, she wasn't in the room. She was at the hotel. And I said, okay. And I beat him. And he called Carmen Electra, got her out of bed, and made her come down. She was 3 blocks away at the Four Seasons. I made her come down so I could squeeze her tits. And I said, that's a fucking rock star, man. Could you imagine the power you have over a woman? And it's a beautiful one, like Carmen Electra. You call her up and you say, honey, I know you're at a $4,000 a night suite at the Four Seasons. You're going to order breakfast, get massages, and you're famous for doing nothing but looking in the camera. And I'm rich, and we're having a great life. Could you leave that life to come down here? So a guy who looks like he won a plumber go on the radio one day contest could squeeze your tits. She came.
I talk sports, and in my spare time I drink beer and play video games. So no, I don't know the power of that. I can't get my dog to go outside to pee, so I can't know.
Well, you're making money talking sports. I mean, that's what you're doing. You won in life. I mean, the only thing is,
sure, but I'm just saying. I mean, no, I don't understand that power. I don't.
Well, Dave Navarro had it, not me. He forced. Yeah, I don't understand that either. He forced her to let me squeeze her tits. I mean, technically, in some very conservative states, it's rape. Sexual assault. And I squeezed her tits, and there were people I went to high school with, 20 kids I went to high school with. It was so funny. They were on their way to build a deck in Newark, freezing cold day. I got voicemails like, asshole, you were dumber than me in high school. How the fuck am I driving to build a deck? I make $28,000 a year. You're making $900K a year to squeeze Carmen Electra's tits. Next time, when I see you at Thanksgiving, I'm going to hit you with a fungo bat. So we're having great lives. We're having great lives.
Yeah, who can complain? It's 2016. It's a brand new year. Come on.
Absolutely. And, obviously, Hall of Fame happened today. And Piazza gets in. Mm-hmm. Now, do you know that Major League Baseball took down the press conference Mike Piazza gave when he was forced to tell people he's not gay? The rumors were so, just in your people's face and prominent that Piazza, the first player in history, first human being in history, held a press conference to specifically say, I'm not homosexual. And he wore I think a Judas Priest shirt when he did it. And then, of course, the next day, Rod Halford came out, which was very disconcerting. So what do you think about that? ML Baseball, very conservative. A funny press conference. What did you think of that when it happened? How crazy is that? And why would you agree with MLB taking it down, or should that be documented in history? Are they that
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know they took it down. I didn't. I'm sure so it doesn't live anywhere. You're saying I can't YouTube that if I wouldn't want to.
That's what Dan Filato.
Yeah, we were looking at every site it went to. It said Major League Baseball has taken. Unfortunately, Major League Baseball has taken it down.
Hey, if you need any other baseball information before you go on your job at Major League Baseball Network, call us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll make sure. That'll be my lead, just in case you were looking to find out if Mike Piazza still said he wasn't gay. I hope you were at the press conference and recorded on your iPhone.
Do you remember the joke on the Saturday Night Live? Chevy Chase used to say, "This just in: Spain leader Francisco Franco is still dead." That should be baseball. Should be this just in: Mike Piazza is still not gay.
Yeah, no, I didn't know they took it down. You know, the thing is that it's sad, but if you go to like the Michael Sam situation, you think about where we're still at. You would think we would be prepared, but we spend more time talking about it. And to me, the more you talk about it, the more you act like. The more we sit there and we have 1 hour shows to say we're comfortable, the more we're saying we're uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. You're right. You know? The more we pay it, that's a good point. The irony is, the more we pay attention to it, the more it means, obviously, we're not there where it's, it's something we don't think about. That's
right. If we didn't care, there's no conversation to have. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, the sad part is, I think that would still happen. I mean, I think if there was a player – now, look, I think if there was a player that legitimately didn't mind coming out,
right.
I think they'd be less fearful now than they were 10 years ago. But, yeah, of course, if there was a guy who either A, didn't want it out, or B, wasn't gay, or there's no way that wouldn't happen again. Of course it would. Guys, but now they do it on Twitter, right? Now they would do it on Twitter.
At the real Michael Sam, I'm gay. First of all, look, I'm not homophobic, and I'll say that in public for the rest of my life. But no, of course I'm homophobic. There's two types of guys. straight guys and gay guys and homophobic guys. I mean, I don't hate anybody, but the word phobia, what does phobia mean? It means you're afraid of something. I'm not afraid of gay people. I'm afraid of getting fucked in the ass. I mean, as a matter of fact, it might be my biggest fear. I mean, I'm afraid of heights, but I'd have to put getting fucked in the ass. I mean, right up there with heights. I mean, here's the problem I have, Case. With heights, you're up high. You're looking down, you might fall.
I'm afraid of heights.
But listen to this. But with getting fucked in the ass, you have a cock in your asshole. So here's what would ruin my day.
Yeah, but here's someone took. I gotta ask you this.
If someone took me, Case. If someone took me to the top, this would be a bad day for me. If someone took me to the top of the Empire State Building and then fucked me in the ass, horrible day. Because it's my two biggest fears.
I would say so.
My two biggest fears.
I would. I would think so.
Yeah.
I just, for me, it's like I don't like fear is something that can happen. Like I'm afraid of. Like I don't like heights either.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to get in a plane as you do and travel a lot. So I'm afraid of crashing into a large mountain. But I'm on a plane, so therefore, like I have to face that fear.
Right.
I don't think I have to face the other fear. Like I don't think I get in a spot where that's going to come around.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Walk through Southie Boston with a Mariano Rivera. Go to the in the showers at LA County Jail like I did with a blood and a crip who were mad at each other and they're wearing eye makeup. Okay?
Yeah, I'll make sure to plan that for Friday. I'll throw it in the calendar.
By the way, the guards. I'm going to say this. I didn't take credit for this for a long time. I'm going to take credit for it. I was in LA County for a while for possession of cocaine and taking a swing at a cop. Casey, I'm sure you know that.
Yes.
1996. And, I'm in LA
MLB
County.
did not delete that from YouTube.
And they shouldn't.
Because it's still stuff.
Of course, they shouldn't. So, okay, the guards there, they get very racist because they try to be like, but even with me, like they find out I'm Italian, they call me Guinea, like everything goes. Because they want to break you. That's what they want to do.
Right.
And there were certain areas, specific cell blocks where ethnicities would hang out. And they had nicknames for them, derogatory nicknames for them. And, like where the homosexual guys hung out, they called them like, fruity cell block. Some of them they weren't even clever. Where the African-American prisoners hung out, they had an awful, like, uncreative nickname. And I jokingly gave a guard a nickname that I heard them use as I left. And I heard from a friend of mine who did some time, they still refer to it. And I get no credit. I said, guys, you're missing the perfect name for the black cell block. I said, what? I go, the sickle cell block. I said, that is perfect. And they said, that's offensive. I told them at lunch. They said, I'm not going to do that. I'm on my way out. I get my clothes from the trustee. I'm leaving. And I hear one of the guards say, there's a fight in sickle cell block. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to bring this up because I want to be paroled. But, to me, that's, come on. They might have put it in concrete.
Right. So you were looking for royalty checks, is what you're saying.
No, listen, I told you. I know MLB's listening. I told you off the air. You loved it. You almost tweeted it. You know why that is? Because sickle cell anemia attacks African Americans.
No, I get it. I get it.
Sickle cell block. All right. By the way, with the Jewish guys, it was hard cell block.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. You know what? Are you familiar with the show Hamilton, the Broadway musical Hamilton? Do you know what that is?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
You don't know what
that new?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea what that is.
Okay, Alexander Hamilton, the guy who...
yeah, I know who he is.
Okay, invented our... Well, Jesus. It's a play. It's a very brilliant play where a black man plays Alexander Hamilton, and all the forefathers are black, and imagines if they were all black, and it's getting incredible reviews. It's going to win the Tonys, and what do you think? Actually, it's going to win the Tony Gwynns. They say. No, I'm kidding. But
you're terrible.
I was going to say.
First of all,
we got a list.
Tony was like an amazing player. A, B. He's not even alive to sit here and get into it with you. I mean, come on now. That's a little.
Now you're right. I'm sorry. We'll call it the Antonio Cromartie.
All right,
so listen, but
there you go.
I was talking.
Tony would have laughed at that.
Yeah, I was talking the other day with the head of the Major League Baseball network. and he told me he had some ideas for some other black musicals based on some great great Broadway plays in the past. And we came up with some names, and I want you to come up with some names with us. Tell me what you think of these. Phantom of the Opera is obvious.
Yeah.
No Rent. I don't have the rent. How about this one? Burglar on the Roof.
Oh, jeez.
How about Hey Miserable? You like any of these? How about this? Stolen Car Named Desire?
Oh boy.
That was a genuine laugh.
Oh boy.
How about this? Oklahoma?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, you love it.
I just want to know: are you putting Cosby in Hey Hey Hey?
Well, yeah, but that makes it very controversial.
Yeah.
Hey,
he literally is going to be singing the song On My Own in a few months.
Yo, that'd be good though. Cosby puts that Fontaine to sleep.
Yeah.
Castle
on a Cloud. Some pills.
I think we got a winner here. A lot of this stuff. How about this? Jersey Boys to Men?
Oh boy.
Do you have anything? No? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right, fine. All right, well, I'll
These are creative.
They're
creative.
Well, that's what you're on the most creative show.
I'm not helping write them with you, but I'll go see it if you get me tickets.
How about how much for a hit of Speed the Plow? This is terrible. A lot of these are the negative connotations, but
yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, but
those sell tickets.
They do. Sickle sell tickets.
I just love how Oprah got off the easiest.
Phantom of the Opera's not bad.
She would willingly star in that. That's not a big deal.
Yes, of course she would. Absolutely. Now, if you could stop going off on tangents, let's talk baseball.
Yeah, please.
Why do you think Piazza... What even started the gay rumors with Piazza? I feel for the guy because you don't want that. You know, it's if you're gay, you're gay, fine, but you don't want someone outing you, or if you are gay and if you're not, you know what I mean? Like, what started that? I don't even remember.
It was in the paper.
So someone got away with that?
One columnist did.
They said they alluded to it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well.
Yeah, but you could do that nowadays. People would still jump on. People jump on stories and then on their way try and find out if they're legit.
Yeah,
all that matters is getting tweets and hits. I mean, if I sat there and made up any story I wanted about you and put it on Twitter, all it takes is somebody with a lot of followers to tweet it, and then it's like the game telephone. All of a sudden, like 10 days from now, like, what are you talking about? Like, Artie is really Gandhi. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can make.
I agree. You're right. I mean, that's terrible. See, that's positive about me. People would. Artie's really good. How about Don King and I?
Oh boy!
You wouldn't go see the Don King and I?
Is it a boxing flick?
Well, it makes sense though, because if the first guy you have, Yul Brynner, has no hair, you want to distinguish yourself from the first guy, and so you get Don King here. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Wait,
right? I would. Yeah.
How about
is it like a Creed sequel? I'd be in on that.
Well, no. The first title of that Stallone had Greed. Was Greed?
Do you know who they were rumored to have Piazza dating?
Who?
Sam Champion, the weather guy.
Well, Sam Champion is out.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. But that is
why he had the press conference.
Who would be the top and the bottom there?
Oh.
What do you think? Casey, I'm talking to you.
No, I'm not. Oh, I understood who you were talking to. I just wasn't answering that question.
I would love that Sam Champion is late for the weather a lot because Mike Piazza won't get off him.
Oh, shit.
Now, who else went in? Ken Griffey Jr. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. and his father did something that you talk about when an American man has a son, you're like, my God, I hope my son plays baseball. I want to do something really special with my son. You try to create moments like, you go to baseball games. That's the biggest most people get. Ken Griffey Jr. and his father hit back-to-back home runs in a Major League Baseball game. I don't think that's talked about enough. Two American men. Hang on a second. Mom? I'm on the air. I'm doing the podcast late. I'm sorry. You all right? Yeah, we did it late today. We got one guest, Casey Stern. He's on TV. I don't know the name of the show. Casey Stern, not Howard Stern. No. The Stern that talks to me. I'm busting balls on the air, Mom. Bye. I'll talk to you later. All right.
Oh my!
The guy, the guy who told me Mike Piazza's gay.
No, hey, no. Let's get back to Griffey and his father. What a nice story that was.
The guy who came up, remember that Broadway musical we were making up names? He's the guy who came up with that really offensive, funny name for the play. I'm not afraid of guns. I'm afraid of triggers.
Yeah.
He changed one word. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost her.
Oh boy.
Okay, listen. Ken Griffey.
Yeah.
So what about that? You and your father. I mean, me and my father ate back-to-back pizzas once at Domino's.
Yeah.
That's America, man. That is America. I just love. They got to hug each other. It was a touching moment. They got to hug each other after they hit back-to-back homers. Your thoughts?
My father's 5'6", so the most basketball we played was when he put up the Nerf net and couldn't reach the highest part of it. my house. So.
Yeah, you know what?
I can't relate really.
When most scouting teams put a scouting report out for their ideal description of a perfect athlete, it's not usually short Jews.
No, my dad and I couldn't even ride the roller coasters without asking.
No, but your father, but still though, was he a big sports fan like you? Is that where you got?
Yeah, diehard. Yeah, I was named after Casey Stengel. He's a huge sports fan.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're much you're much more articulate.
Yes.
But
after this, I'll be much less important.
But your father probably is very proud of you. You're working in baseball, and
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, he's a big Yankee guy. So
where can I send
like
this interview?
Like you, he just complains about the team not being as good as it used to be, and all I hear every day is, "What if Steinbrenner was still alive?"
I know, right? People, isn't that so funny how it turned around? A lot of hardcore Yankee fans, especially older guys from the generation of Yogi and DiMaggio, used to complain about Steinbrenner and his tactics, but when now people yearn for him, it's like, but. I don't know. The Yanks made the playoffs this year. They forget that. I mean, how many teams can even say that? But with Yankee fans, we need more. We need a ring. It's crazy.
Well, plus the other thing is, I always talk about it this way. The Red Sox won the World Series like 3 years ago, right? Then the Mets, they get to the World Series. Steinbrenner would have died because he would have had a heart attack between the Red Sox winning the World Series and then the Mets getting in the World Series. He would have taken out an entire paper in the Daily News or the Post to go and apologize.
Exactly.
To not spend money after that, like in itself, he always went after it. But for the team not to react, and I get it's not always great business, but you know how he was. I mean,
absolutely.
There's no way. Like you can't win in Boston. What do you mean the Mets have the back page? So
that's right. Exactly.
It's for this team to not do anything now. It's the first time where I actually do think it's legit to say that if George was still alive, this would have not been the same offseason this team just had.
How do you think Major League Baseball would get effective if Trump builds a wall around Mexico? Do you think Trump's thinking of that? I mean, where we're going to get middle relief pitching?
I highly doubt it.
Do you think Fernando?
Although I can. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think Fernando Valenzuela would have been able to climb over the wall? Hello, Casey. We'll move on.
I'm not touching that.
The answer's clearly no. I mean, honestly, here's the thing about the Yankees. People say you like the Yankees as much as. And first of all, I'm 48 years old. I got bills to pay. You're not. you're not as much as into it as when you were a kid. Although
sure.
that's why you got
right.
a dream. That's why you do have a dream job. Your job is to be into it. Like
right,
you
to be into it.
Yeah, you get to live your childhood. But
right.
I mean, it's
I get to have no life and say it's my life.
Dude, no, you get no life. Dude, you're like a sixth grader. You all you do is talk about baseball, and you're the same height as most sixth graders. I mean, that's taking it too far.
And I'm still hiding magazines under my bed.
But I'm saying, like, and the other thing is, all the Yankees used to look like a guy you'd have a beer with at the corner bar. Thurman Munson and Mickey Rivers very much looked like a guy you'd hang out with at the track, and anybody. And the guys now are billionaire guys who most of them don't speak English. I can't relate to the guys. It's
But you can have a drink with A-Rod. I know that's your boy.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love that. A-Rod, can I have a drink with you? Are you a 24-year-old blonde wrestler with abs who has big tits? No, no.
Yeah.
I think A-Rod's a perfect example. He's a traveling corporation. He private jets. He's got big pink pillowy lips, and he's a guy that is a metrosexual. It takes him a half an hour to do his eyebrows before a game. It seems. I don't relate to a guy like that. I just don't.
Well, so look, he got his money, right? So at the end of people, with the Hall of Fame stuff we've been dealing with the last few days, everybody talks about, A-Rod will never get in. And I'm sure because he cares as much as anybody what other people think of him, he probably wishes he can get into the Hall of Fame. But if I told you couldn't get a plaque, but I can give you $250 million, would you take the plaque? You know what I mean?
I know.
Like at the end of the day, if the worst thing that ever happened was you would have to hide where no one could find you, but I'd give you $250 million, that would be like everyone's dream. You mean no one could talk to me? I think at the end of the day, he has got the last laugh no matter what anybody says.
Well, that's the weird part about it. They got it mixed up. In front of the Hall of Fame, there could be a sign, A-Rod can't get in. And but you know where there's not a sign where it says A-Rod can't get in? Cameron Diaz's pussy. Your thoughts? Your thoughts? We'll move on.
I think we lost the line.
We'll move on.
This is where if I was hosting a show, I'd drop the phone number just for attention.
You can't
But
comment.
nobody wants to call you, so I can't give one.
You can't comment on that. Come on. No, you banged Cameron Diaz a bunch of times. She admitted it. We'll move on.
Oh, I'm aware.
What do you mean?
I'm aware of that.
No, you are right. Yeah. I'm saying you fucked her a lot.
Among like 7,312 other women.
She was the most famous, though.
Probably not the most attractive. I would assume he's probably done better.
I agree. I know a chick he banged. I know a chick he dated. Yeah. We'll move on. What about Rondo calling that referee gay, huh, in the NBA? Do you know, it reminded me of, do you remember when Roberto Alomar spit on the umpire?
Yeah.
Well, the umpire called, suppose I heard the umpire called Alomar gay. Now, I don't know if Alomar was gay or not, but there were rumors about it, and the ump supposedly did that. And you know what? Good for Alomar. He should spit on him. You know, a guy like that might be leading a really, really, hard life. If you're homosexual, you got to keep yourself in the closet. Like you just said, it'll never, the mentality of teams have that military mentality, and they'll never be accepting of it. So Alomar's got to be leading somewhat of a torture.
Well, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that I don't think people as a whole. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care, and I just don't. Like for me. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but, like, I want to know, like, if somebody can hit or score touchdowns or play. If I'm a sports fan, like, I don't care, So at the end of the day, to each their own, like, go 3 for 5 and score a bunch of runs.
By the way, you won the contest, by the way. The bullshit meter hit red and whenever that...
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
I mean it.
I know you are,
don't
dude.
Care.
I know.
I just don't. Like, so, like, that's why, like, when players are like bad people, or they like, a guy, he goes out too much or whatever. Like, what does he do when he gets on the field? Like, does he hit home runs? So I think there are some people who don't care.
I agree.
But the unfortunate part is it always becomes a story. And I think when you watch what happened with Michael Sam, it's not going to happen again because no one cared how good. No one even asked. He stunk. No one even asked if he was any good at football.
I know, you're right.
The only thing they cared about was the rest of it.
I know. And he's making out. I mean, listen, He gets drafted. He finds out he gets drafted. They put the players always make out with their girlfriends. He is tongue kissing that guy who looked like Antonio Banderas. It was like, remember that? They had him making out with his boyfriend for half an hour after he got drafted. Slow down, man. Take your tongue out of his ass long enough to catch a pass or tackle somebody. Your thoughts?
My honest thoughts are, I really don't like on this stuff. It doesn't bother me. Honestly, it really doesn't.
Did you hear the?
Whatever anybody I think that people should be to me, it's more ridiculous that you can't in 2016. To go back to something you just said, we can have Trump, right? He does a TV show where he decides if Dennis Rodman should get a job, right?
Right.
He can run the country, but we can't have players that are different than us off the field play. At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care what anybody does.
Yeah, no, I know. It's like, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. And it really remember George, it goes back a long time. I remember there were rumors that George Brett might have been gay amongst Yankee fans, like the Aaron Rodgers crap now. And supposedly, people don't realize this, what Billy Martin really said with that pine tar thing was, Brett had the bat up his ass past the pine tar line, and you can't allow to do that. If I were Brett, I would run out and punch him in the face too. Your thoughts? Oh wait, I'm sorry. That was my Uncle Tony who said that. Damn it! Damn it! No, these guys. Okay, listen. I created a story, as you remember. I was hard-hitting reporter that I am at the press day. At Super Bowl in New Orleans, when I asked Chris Culliver, the defensive back for the San Francisco 49ers, all I asked him, any gay guys on the 49ers. 24-year-old kid from the South, black kid from the South, Bible Belt kid, and he proceeded to say stuff offensive, I don't want to, don't touch me, don't come near me if you're gay, come out 10 years after you're out of the league, blah, blah, blah. And he got in trouble for it, and he changed, and he's a better man now. And, of course, another reason why I've changed the world for the good, and nobody points it out.
Right.
But listen to what you're fighting. You're fighting
I'm not sure ESPN would agree with you.
You're fighting the Bible. You're fighting the Bible, okay? Where they take it in the South. They take it literally. Yeah. You're African Americans, like Italians, like my people. Unfortunately, I'm not proud of it. Very difficult with the homophobia stuff. It's ingrained in you, the neighborhood kids. It's very, very. It's like a military mentality on top of the Bible, and old-fashioned parents who they don't have any tolerance. And and then you get into football where it's very prevalent, and you got that camaraderie. And these young kids, especially who are naive, are never going to accept it. And it's hard to, if you push it on them, they might say something even more offensive. And the only way it's going to happen is Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers really was, which I don't think he is, the best player in the league, arguably, if he comes out, then you got a shot. It's like, now what do you need? I'm the best player and I'm gay. So what are you going to say now? Unfortunately, Michael Sam, you need a Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was good in pressure, and you need that. So I don't know if it'll happen either. It kind of sucks, but who knows if it's that important to the gay community, but clearly it is to some. I hope we can all get along. But he hung up during my point. That wasn't offensive.
I don't think that was on purpose. I think it was just lost him.
It was.
No.
Fuck him.
Oh, come on.
No, I love Casey. Might be the greatest guy we have and greatest guest. What a sense of humor. And he's not afraid. And clearly, I'm saying stupid shit. I'm a comedian with a podcast in my kitchen. Casey has a real job, but obviously doesn't agree with any of this shit. He's just being a good guy with a sense of humor. I hope he's not mad. I hope it was something else that hung up. But if he did hang up, I wouldn't get mad at him. I'm saying dumb stuff. Maybe I went over the line. Dan, in your opinion, did I go over the line?
No, I think it was a disconnect.
Well, it was a disconnect in our opinions. Ken Griffey Jr., without question, Hall of Famer, right there?
Yes.
Without question. A lot of people say he got injured late in his career. Back-to-back home runs with your father. God, I remember Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr., the way they smiled, especially the dad, Ken Griffey Sr., smiling, hugging his kid. God, you just hit back-to-back homers in the majors. Now, it's not talked about enough. Who comes close to that kind of life? Most people don't even like their dads. They don't relate to them. Dan and his father seem very close.
Sorry, buddy. Hold on.
Case?
Yo, I got you back.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. We thought you hung up because I was getting a little too crazy.
No. I would never hang up on you. You crazy?
You would know. I praised you during the commercial. I said, if in fact, I got a little nuts, Casey might be our greatest guest because he's knowledgeable, works for a big company, he's got the best sense of humor on the planet. But, I agree with you, the point that was made, they may never solve the gay thing in sports. And it sucks, but hopefully, they'll be accepting in every other area. But if you still make a group of people keep something secret and have that kind of stress, it just kind
of course.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's like half the people will hate it and not say it.
Right.
And that's the worst part. Like that's much worse than the people who can't come out or be honest is the people who won't be honest and come out and say they hate it. You know what I mean?
The players won't defend.
Oh, yeah, the
right.
players. Oh,
right.
yeah, you get all the PC, I'd be for anything, and then behind the scenes talking a bunch of garbage. So it's
You're
like,
right.
They're worse off to me than the people who are too afraid to do it because the other people are just as chicken and not say how they truly feel.
I agree with it, and it's just something that keeps feeding itself against me. You know what? Even if you got the coaches and the players to all agree, no, we're going to be accepting, and I think a lot of the guys would. You know what you can't control are the fans. Can you imagine a Philadelphia Eagles upper deck on a cold January playoff game, and the openly gay guy misses a pass? Where the Eagles fans lose the game and don't cover the bets that they have. Those guys are going to say the rudest shit on the planet, and they're like, "We paid for a ticket. You can't control us," and that's the problem too. I mean, you're talking. Right. Imagine the guys. Say the guy does. He got his Michael Sam was a starter. He'd have his partner. In the wife section, like you would. I mean, that's what would happen in a real evolved society. And that guy hears what they're saying. They may become suicidal. It's still a horrible. We haven't come that far in a lot of areas, and unfortunately.
No, look. I can't. I mean, I have no idea what it's like. I mean, I'm probably too honest about who I like. I don't really care what anybody thinks of me, so whatever. But if you're a person who's got to hide who you are, that's awful enough. To me, the problem is if I was an athlete, and clearly I'm not. That's why I'm doing this. But if I was an athlete, I would want to be judged. Either I suck or I'm great based on how I threw a football or shot a jumper or whatever. So I think, part of the problem is, I mean, if I was one of them, I wouldn't do it either. If I saw what happened to Michael Sam, and I'm sure there are some, there's some everywhere, right? And it's not a big deal to me. It's a big deal to some. But I think that if I was in that spot, there's no way I would be honest. Because I would want to be judged on my play. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's not, do you hit 314? It would be, do you hit 314 and what's your sexuality? I would never want to be in that.
I agree with you, but what if it affects, what if off-field behavior, like with drugs and stuff, could affect on the field? If you just paid a guy a bunch of money, guaranteed contract, who's a pitcher, and he needs Tommy John surgery because he was giving his partner a hand job. What do you think about that? Would you be mad at that? I guess it could happen to a guy jerking off heterosexual. It's the same thing.
That in the Is that in the press release?
Yes. Maybe the partner gets mad and they go, you know what? The reason he needed a Tommy John surgery was not because he threw the slider the wrong way. He was jerking me off. And he out some money.
At least we wouldn't blame the training staff.
Hey, it can't be any worse than any of the lies they tell now about how players got hurt.
Well, no, that would be wrong. Yeah. And what about the?
Maybe that's why in hockey they just say upper body.
Yeah.
What about this though? Okay. What about the press? Would you cover this as a press? The first time after the Tommy John surgery, he jerks off a guy. Would you?
Oh, jeez.
We'll move on. What would they call that? The Mommy John surgery?
Ken Griffey Jr. got 99.3%.
Jimmy John surgery.
Ken Griffey Jr. That's great. Ken Griffey Jr. should get. I mean, people say his last part of his career he was injured and stuff, but no. What do you? 500 homers. And for a while, 96 in that playoffs that they beat in 1995 the Mariners beat the Yankees. Edgar Martinez and Ken Griffey Jr. I remember I was living in L.A. First year I moved to L.A. I had to watch it out there. I go to a sports bar in L.A. and only Yankee fan. It was so depressing. Edgar Martinez and Ken Griffey Jr. never made it out in that series. I said, and Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing was so perfect. He was 22, hitting the ball a mile, making unbelievable catches. He would run down in center field. And I said, I'm looking at, Willie Mays only with modern day, weightlifting and training. This guy's going to hit 1,000 homers. I remember saying that to myself, and he had enough.
Well,
did enough.
Look, the good thing with him is that he had all the injuries, but you almost feel good about the injuries because it shows you that he wasn't on steroids. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, absolutely. I agree with you, too. He's a guy that you never heard that about him, and clearly you probably didn't because he stayed the same size, basically.
Right. He would have bounced back from the injuries if he was on them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, most people say, if you ask me, Barry Bonds is the most talented player that I ever saw.
Right. Is he? No. Case?
What do you want, a love line in the background?
No, what is that? Dan,
know.
Dan, there's shit in the background. You fucker.
I don't get anything.
I don't know.
Dan, what'd you do? Ramp up coverage of Griffey in the background?
No, it's just the phone.
Wait, what phone?
It might be the phone.
Yeah, but
Dan blames everything on somebody else.
Percentage of Griffey. It's not my phone.
Yeah, what's not his phone?
No, it might be the phone line.
Our phone line?
Yeah, I don't have any.
Well, now it's gone.
My hands are here. Look.
I know. I don't think you're doing something on purpose. I think you're incompetent. Did you ever hear the clip of Dan talking to my sister's dog? Oh my God. Oh my
I missed that.
God. Well, I'm sure Michael Sam has a similar audio.
What about Tim Raines?
Is he in?
He
He should be in the hall. He
missed.
didn't get it. He got 69%, which next year's his last year on the ballot. So I think he'll get in. He should. I mean, second best leadoff hitter in his generation to Ricky Henderson, and just because he wasn't as good as Ricky, he was still better than everybody else. He was the best in the National League for 10 years as the leadoff guy. So I think he should get in. He probably will.
Let me tell you something, though. That comment, because you have human beings, it's not a machine spewing out stats, it's not science, it's human beings, writers, voting, and the stuff sticks in their craw. I think it might take a while because of that comment he made about he didn't slide. With his ass on the ground, he slid head first because he had a vial of cocaine. You remember that comment?
Yeah.
He said, I didn't want to break the vial of cocaine in my back pocket. That's why he slid head first. Do you remember that? That's going to affect you.
Maybe was that Chase Utley's reasoning for this?
Wait a minute. Are you saying you don't remember that? I'm not making that up.
Look, what is the reason his nickname's Brock, right? So I get it, but I don't think. But here's the crazy part is, and I get this is, it's a tough conversation to have. But coke or any kind of drugs, no matter what it is, if a guy's got an issue off the field, people don't have a problem with that. Like, it's not.
But he had an issue on the field.
Because look, these are human beings. Some of them are going to, go awry. Whatever. It's that doesn't help you hit a home run. That's not good. That's not. You're not cheating the game. You're cheating yourself. Right. I mean, that's the way people look at it. Whereas, you could sit there and have a pound of weed in your locker, and the guy next to you can have some cream that helps, that aids in performance, and that guy is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And you're okay. You know what I mean?
I agree. By the way, the Tim Raines thing with the vial in his back pocket, that I can't judge him because people have asked me. That's the reason for the last 3 years I was on the Howard Stern show, I sat on my head. At the microphone. I don't want to break. I'm kidding, of course. Tim, again, I do think that some conservative guys, and we know a lot of these conservative baseball writers get on their high horse. They're like, they do judge people. That these writers like Mike Lupica and all these guys. Mike Lupica's clearly a smart guy, a writer I follow, a successful guy, but he's very condescending and very preachy. And that's the type of guys that might hear a comment like that and go, no, I'm not putting them in, because the kids hear it, they go in that rhetoric. It's crazy.
Well, the other thing is that a lot of these guys, and I'm part of the media, and a lot of the writers I know and I respect too, but I've said this out in the air many times. I mean, basically, when you're in junior high school or elementary school and you get the hall monitor, that was like the person who didn't have any power, so he wanted to tell on you, or you're running in the halls, or all of that. These are guys who want to play and they can't play. Look, I can't play either, so I'm not saying they're any different than me, but you're watching down on the field, and this is the one thing you control. You can't hit the baseball. You can't control the team you're covering all year and flying on planes with to go get the playoffs. but you can control this. This is your chance to go and be the star. And I think a lot of those guys kind of use that the wrong way.
I agree with you. And, so what you're saying is, let's read between the lines. The person you hate is not Mike Lupica. It's the guy who let Mike Lupica out of the locker in high school. Yo! And that guy was Michael Samba. Lupica, I agree with these guys. It's like a guy. It's like the guy who gets bullied in high school or teased and becomes a cop, and he likes that power.
Yes.
Right. He becomes an uptight cop. Like he's the cop who, if at 4:00 in the morning he sees you, doing a line off a hooker's ass on the hood of a stolen car, he arrests you. Your thoughts?
Saw that in a movie.
Now, some of the guys, it's the same exact thing. They want positions of power, and that's what these guys have. And I think they get mad that they're not living the life of these athletes. One of the funniest quotes I ever heard, a friend of mine was talking to Lorne Michaels, and he said to Lorne Michaels that when Marv Albert, his kid, Marv Albert, not his kid, who I love, Marv Albert bit the hooker's back.
Yeah.
Okay, crazy story. This guy asked Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels is very cosmopolitan. He tells it like it is, and sometimes it seems harsh. The guy said, "Why do you think he did that?" Because Lorne knows Marv Albert well. He's known him for years. And he said, the pussy that basketball players get is insane. I just think he went fucking nuts. Talk about a real answer. Like, that's the truth in life. He's saying it's believable that Marv Albert, after 30 years of seeing Charles Barkley fucking chicks,
couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, jerks off to every night, a different hot blonde 21-year-old, every night that he'd love to marry. He went so nuts that he hired a whore and bit her back. And that happens in life. So look, there's evidence. Some big books have been written about this. That Hitler, a chick rejected Hitler. So 6 million people had to die. Yeah, because he was mad. He didn't get into art school, and a girl he loved, it's documented when he was young, broke his heart. He got mad at her. He had anger. Jewish girl. That's been documented. Absolutely documented. And
there went members of my family left and right.
No. Think about though. The guy became an evil asshole for some reason, and you're talking about a tragedy on a massive proportion. And you think about it. We all have these chicks that we secretly want to fuck, and we can't do it, so we get mad at the guys who do it. Like Mariano Rivera's. We all want that.
I just can't wait till. This is now like a yearly. This is the Hall of Fame roundtable that I've been waiting for in my career.
We were so proud of you when you were on the network. Artie and I watched every game you were on. Man,
we were.
You were great.
By the way,
Thank you, dude.
You did a great job. It was good. It really was.
Thank
cool.
you. Thanks.
Especially when your colleague A-Rod made that beautiful analysis that they won the 09 series because Jay-Z sang a song before the game. I almost drove to Newark Airport, bought a first-class ticket to Kansas City, went to the stadium, waited for him to come into the field the next time to make an analysis, and just I did a thing like the same thing that the guy who killed Lennon did. I just waited there and said, "I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail," and get a lawyer and tell him that, and the lawyer might find the jury that would maybe be a hung jury. But Jay-Z said, A-Rod said that they won the 09 series because Jay-Z rocked the house. Did you see the look on Pete Rose's face?
Well, that's why the Mets lost in 2000 because they had the Baja Men singing "Who Let the Dogs Out" at the stadium, and that's true. That happened before that Mets Yankees World Series. So I got to thank A-Rod. Now I know why they lost.
Yeah, exactly. A-Rod, what about all the years in Texas at the Rangers? They could get A-Rod to come down there?
Yeah.
Terrible.
That's enough of Glenn Close singing bad Met games. That's it. It's over.
Glenn Close. It's weird you say that. I always thought that. Is there a least sexy name for a woman than Glenn? You know what I mean? It's like, do you imagine having sex with Glenn Close? Going, oh, Glenn.
No.
Terrible.
No, I couldn't.
She's odd.
I couldn't. No.
Plus,
no.
She boils a rabbit on top of it. Obama's. Give me your best racial joke about Obama.
Oh God.
Yeah.
How about Trump? Trump is getting so comfortable with these crazy ads and things he's saying. Goes up in the polls.
Yeah.
I predict the undoing of Trump is going to be he is going to say something, it's so ridiculous because he was comfortable. It's going to be like a Michael Richards Kramer thing. Like, no, that now you're out.
Yeah, right.
Now you're
all
out.
of a sudden he's going to be blacklisted from everywhere. Yeah.
It's going to be like
except Fox and Friends.
Hey, when he talks about, do you think I'm going to win the White House? He's like, I am a ruthless, white, waspy real estate developer. You know how many black people I've forced out of their homes? So rich white people can move in? You know how many black people, black families are homeless so rich white people?
I'm gonna go have nightmares for the rest of my night now.
No, here he goes, Mr. Donald Trump. Donald Trump says this, Mid-America. How about making our president the same color as his house?
So we gotta make this. This is like a town hall meeting. Like we're having like we did it for the Hall of Fame. Assuming I'm still employed to cover spring training, I'll be joining you next on the podcast from Arizona, where we'll be discussing who's going to use a cactus tree. It'll be fun.
How about this? If Hillary Clinton, this is the ad she runs. She really wants to get vicious. A character in the ad, Forrest Trump, and he just says all that stupid shit that he says. And so I'm Forrest Trump. I'll build a wall around Mexico. I'm Forrest Trump. Megyn Kelly insulted me at the debate, so she's bleeding from her pussy.
Oh, my God. I'm now blocking Filato on my phone. That's it.
I'm Forrest. Come on, add one. Just add one Forrest Trump joke. I'm Forrest Trump. All right, you got to go. I'm sorry.
No, I love you. We'll do this again next time, and if not, hopefully there's room in wherever you guys tape these for somebody else in the ensemble, because I'll be knocking on the door. Sorry, Boschetti. I'll be knocking on the door.
How about this? Finish. I'll give you a setup, and you give me the punchline. I'm Forrest Trump. Chicago's inner city's like a box of chocolates. Go ahead. Casey Stern, don't miss him on MLB Network.
That's why Filato couldn't laugh there.
Filato doesn't laugh. Sometimes he gets the pussy look on his face like he has anything in life to lose. Just laugh at it. Go nuts with this. What are you going to be producing? The Politically Correct podcast next week? You know what? That makes nothing.
No, please. I look forward to the next time.
How about this? Fernando Valenzuela. By the way, this is relevant. Yeah. It's a callback to what we talked about earlier. You'll love this. Fernando Valenzuela, they're doing the story of his life, a TV movie. Guess who's playing him? Mariana Rivera's wife. And with that, I'll say goodbye to the great Casey Stern. Edit his laughing into all those jokes so it's louder.
Yeah.
And send it to A-Rod. What's the head of the MLB Network's email?
I'm going to go. I feel like I need like a good bath.
Bathe yourself. You know what? You
just a shower. Like I don't do baths. Like a shower. I'm a shower guy. Like I don't think. Like I just don't. Like I never say like I need a bath. But I think I need a bath.
You're covered.
Like I'm a Jew. I never got baptized, but I feel like I need someone to drown me at this point.
You're bathed in the water of failure that is already lying. I go to the car painting shop every 2 weeks. Get a fresh coat of failure. I love you, Kate. You are what a sense of humor, and I love you. And let us know next week. You work here if you want.
Yeah, but I might have to.
You know why you'll always work there? Because you're great at what you do. I love you, and we'll talk to you again,
Thanks,
brother. And good luck with.
I love you. I love you too, brother. Well.
Okay, take care. The great Casey.
All right, be good, man.
He's a good man. Good man. Here's the thing. Clearly. Although crazier things have happened, some people in this uptight world with corporations, a lot of stuff's personal. The guy, the head of the MLB Network, might hate my guts, probably does, and to punish me, a guy like Casey Stern, gets sacrificed, probably not going to happen. But weirder things have happened. If that ever happened, the guilt I would have, I would actually have to employ Casey double what he makes now until he got a job. No, that's not going to happen because he's great at what he does. But there are a lot of guys, even though not going to happen probably, who in this business who work in jobs like Casey, for people like he works for, who are uptight and would go, I don't want to do the podcast. That's why all you fans support Casey.
And Joe Buck.
And Joe Buck, too. They're cool motherfuckers. They're guys. And you know what they say, a lot of people are uptight. I don't want to do that, talk about that. And certainly they might laugh it off here and never call back. Casey keeps coming because he has a sense of humor. He knows it's a joke. He knows, even though Dan is, I'm not a racist. It's like we just have fun, and he likes to have fun, and he's great at what he does. He's confident in his ability that he won't get fired, and I applaud him for that because a lot of people are too uptight to do the show. We know for a fact, and they turn it down because they don't want to get fired or they don't want this, want that. Those are people who are insecure in their own abilities, and Casey's not,
And certainly Brian Jones, another funny guy. He'll probably be on Monday.
It's amazing. Brian Jones is amazing. Mm-hmm. These guys who work for big corporations, like ones I used to, I no longer work for, they keep coming back because they have a great sense of humor, good at what they do, and, they're not uptight. So I applaud them. And, follow these guys on Twitter. Casey Stern on Twitter. I think he's at Casey Stern.
Yeah.
And Brian Jones, certainly. And, of course, like Dan mentioned, the great Joe Buck. And God bless him. Thank you for doing it. Unlike a comedian we know who's supposed to be edgy, I'm sure Casey won't be eating dinner with his wife later and calls us up to cut this out. Did we say on the air who that was? We did, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Joe Matarese. Insults. He didn't even insult. He said nothing wrong, but got scared. Because powerful person that he thinks is powerful. If someone is his friend who's big in show business, and they might not put him in a movie. Are you kidding me? If Joe's mother were directing a film, oh my God, Joe would have to audition for an extra part. Yeah. Absolutely. If you could argue that I'm the only one who gave Joe a job. These people are never going to talk to him again, like they probably won't talk to me again. So you could argue, you know what, if I call Artie to have it cut out, maybe I'll piss off Artie. The only one who in the past has given me work, is currently giving me work, and in the future is guaranteed the only one giving me work. I won't piss him off. I won't interrupt his night after a long day of doing a 2-hour podcast, eating cookies and making Chris Cotton 14 sandwiches. No. His rationale is, better call. And he said nothing wrong. We're not even allowed to say who he might have insulted. All right? I'll give you a hint. Joe was afraid that for some reason, if we didn't edit out what he wanted us to edit out, for some reason, Senator Chuck Schumer would have him evicted from his house. All right? Senator Chuck Schumer. And the other comedian, I won't say it, I'll give you another hint. Joe was afraid that if we didn't edit out what we edited out, Joe would be one of the few people that this really famous comedian could look down on. And if you're not following what I'm talking about, try to ride along. And if you think these hints are difficult, I told you yesterday that the questions are going to get hard. Okay? You understand? Huh? If Joe was afraid if we didn't edit it out, or we're going to edit it out, this comedian would have called him up and said, Joe, I want to talk about last night. You mean 20 years ago? No, the new about last night. The African-American best light. This is, I saw the previews for the new About last night, and when I saw that this person was in it, I said, does the Rob Lowe character have a black child? Yeah. Joe thought that one of these people was going to give him work. Joe was afraid his life would be a train wreck. Could you imagine? I'm giving them work. Not these guys. Terrible.
Oh, that phone call was unbelievable.
What phone call?
Then when he called to say, listen, you got to take it out at 9:30.
He's eating. And I think his wife told him, because his wife tells him everything, because she's a winner. Joe's a great comic. I got to tell you, his latest special I just saw, he showed me. Joe is a professional, man. He should, he's going to sell it soon, and he's really he's amazing. And at the Village Underground, as funny as ever. I know Joe in a long time. It's and when he gets that new special out, check it out, because I was very impressed by it. Joe is a pro, and it's a tough business, man. And I felt like saying to him, I did whatever he wanted, because I made a deal with the comics that, anybody who comes in here, that I still have to come in here for free. And Joe came in here for free and didn't complain for 4 days.
But you're not holding any grudge matches against him, are you?
Yeah. You're right, but I'm not. So I feel like telling Joe is look, man, you're funny. That's why you'll keep working. You're good. You've been good. You've been making a living for 20 years.
Think like a man too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's something that you have confidence, because you're good. That's why you're still here. But it's a shame that we have this mentality where we think people would be that vindictive. And he didn't say anything bad either. He was just making an analogy about the world of comedy nowadays, and that's it. And it wasn't anything that I think someone would get mad at. But Joe was really paranoid about it, like a lot of comics are, and that's it. So I was fine with it. And because of that, Flippin' and Dan were up till 6 in the morning. Ultimately, they couldn't cut everything out. So they had to actually edit stuff in with voiceovers, which is, why at some point stuff doesn't make any sense. Out of nowhere, Joe says something that sounds like, that's why I don't understand that Amy has a tumor. He said, at one point we couldn't understand why, he sounded like all of a sudden he sounds like Chris Cotton. He just said, did Kevin fart? No one in the room named Kevin. But we promised Joe we'd never tell who those two comics were, and we haven't. We won't. And we're not gonna. Without question. I don't care if Joe's the last comic standing. All right, let's. How long? We've been talking a while. Listen. Again, the Trump thing. What?
An hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm saying. The Trump thing is getting so fucking funny at this point. So funny. These reporters don't know what to do. It's showing how reporters are either dumb or and they are. They're just talking heads. If you watch CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, he dominates. I will say this. I bet there's no other American that's dominated the news like he has for the last 8 months in history. Not Roosevelt, not the Lindbergh kidnapping. Nothing. Not Kennedy getting shot. What we talking about? It's Trump 24/7, and they're shameless. The shit they say contradicts the shit they're doing. It is so fucking retarded. They look at the American press, and they look at the American people, and they say, it's a shame. But the only reason he's this far in the polls is because the media covers it. The media takes the bait every time. I hope they realize they're talking about themselves. Are they accusing someone else of it? And, Fox News, the liberals accuse, like CNN and MSNBC, of course, they accuse them of being unfair and balanced, which is, of course, true. Jesus. Shameless. But entertaining. Fox, I think, is a little more tongue-in-cheek. I think Fox realizes or tries to be more of an entertainment network. I honestly think that a lot of the talking heads there don't realize that's the case. They just didn't tell them. One of the funniest things I ever heard, Peter Bogdanovich was doing an interview. It might have been on the old Bob Costas show later with Bob Costas, and he talked about the fact that he befriended Alfred Hitchcock the last 10 years of Hitchcock's life. He's one of those young directors at the time in the early 70s. It was like this, obviously maybe some rich kid, employed by, his Harvard alma mater, whatever, who called Hitchcock Hitch. Okay, you're clearly a peer. But Alfred Hitchcock, for you young people out there, I just realized they probably don't know. A lot of them don't know the vice president. Alfred Hitchcock directed the movie Psycho, not the one with Vince Vaughn. That was directed by...
Thank you. You know what? If you had not clarified that...
some might need to clarify that, believe me. I think the one with Vince Vaughn was directed by Alfred E. Newman.
Who's that?
Exactly. That's another one. We'll keep going down this reference of nothing. But, Alfred Hitchcock might be known as, maybe in some people, overall the greatest director ever. I don't quite believe that in the top 10, but certainly in one genre, the horror movie, without question. And mysteries, murder mysteries, stuff like that. The Rear Window with Henry Fonda.
He would not be in your top 10?
I said it would be.
Oh, okay.
Overall. But not number one. Some people say number one overall. Number one in a specific genre, but top 10 overall for me. Absolutely. Yeah. And the original Psycho with Tony Perkins, who also played the Red Sox, the famous Red Sox who quit.
Jimmy Pearsall.
Jimmy Pearsall, right?
Is that all right for you, Dad? Is that all right for you?
All right. That's really Dan Filato.
He climbed the fence after home run,
and Dan and Tony Perkins have a lot in common. I think Tony had Brussels sprout. So,
wait a minute, he is.
Yeah. Guess there's a lot in common with a lot of the Red Sox.
We used to climb the backstop when we would have to play. When I worked with Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer, the Chicago disc jockeys, we would climb the backstop when we played the Steppenwolf guys. Malkovich was on that team.
Explain what you did. No, I don't want you to. Okay. No, talk about references. We used to climb the backstop when we played Steppenwolf guys with Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer. Okay, why? Well, explain why that's relevant to the story we're telling.
Because you're talking about we used to climb that.
What are you talking about to people?
Jimmy Pearsall once climbed
Who's
the backstop.
Pearsall?
He's the guy you were just talking about.
Again, you can't go down this rat hole. Okay. I mentioned it, and I said, why did I mention it? No one knows who he is. You then told a story that's insanely obscure. You and 4 of Tony Pearsall's relatives know the backstop reference.
Jimmy Pearsall.
Let's tell it to Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer. Who are they? We're not just in Chicago. It was a Rear Window with Henry Fonda and a smoking hot Grace Kelly. And Raymond Burr, who Dan has a lot in common. Ironside. Rebecca, amazing films. Anatomy of a Murder, or Dial M for Murder. Oh, how great! Another Grace Kelly one. Vertigo. North by Northwest. Pick him. He made a lot with Henry Fonda. It was one of his guys, Henry Fonda. So, Henry Fonda, a star and a movie star. He just said to him. Bogdanovich said to Hitchcock, what was a dream you never got to do? He goes, I would love to have done one of my pictures as a parody. I would love to direct one of my movies as a comedy and just parody or satire one of my films, like a Rear Window or something like that. And Bogdanovich said to him about Henry Fonda, the legendary movie star, father of Jane Fonda. Would you think Henry Fonda would be into that? Would he be upset or insulted that you were making a comedy? Do you think he'd do it? And Hitchcock, dead serious, said, "Oh, Henry Fonda's far too stupid to know if we're making a comedy or not." That's the respect he had for Henry Fonda.
Wow.
And the actors.
Wow.
A lot of directors are like that, man. Scorsese and Nero probably don't have that. God, of course they don't. But Hitchcock was a fat, ugly English genius. So probably looked at these actors like Lauren Michael said about Marv Albert.
Yep.
Goes nuts.
Would Scorsese be your number one?
Well, let me finish this.
Okay.
First. I'm getting on a tangent. There's rumors that he fucked every leading actress, Hitchcock. Every one of them. You want to get one of my movies? Fuck me. And, a lot of these chicks are whores. And they'll fuck them. This is a rumor. I don't have any proof, but this is a big rumor from a lot of people I heard. And, it's not just any director. They knew you get a Hitchcock movie, you had to hitch onto his cock. So they fuck him. I don't know what that looked like. Jesus Christ. The only one he couldn't fuck was Prince Kelly after she was royalty. She married the royalty. You can't fuck royalty, I guess, even if you're him. But that's the kind of power he had. And he just probably hated actors. And a lot of brilliant directors are like that. But he's telling, dead serious, he's telling Bogdanovich, he seriously thinks that Henry Fonda would not know if something was a comedy. He goes, I would have to tell him. I told him. I told him in the movie Rear Window, he was, wait a minute. How long has this been going on? Can you talk? I'm not recording.
No, you're on. You're on.
Am I?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, no, this came out.
I'll get it.
I got it. Hello? Testing, hello?
Artie's headphone cord unplugged.
Get some duct tape, fucker. Okay, I got it. Hello, Frisco. I have a male, I need a female adapter. Where's my adapter? Just think of your secretary, sir. Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks and the unbelievably brilliant Harvey Korman in that movie. Mel Brooks plays a governor who's cross-eyed, and he's trying to put his pencil into his pencil holder, his pen into his pen holder, and he keeps missing the hole. And he goes, right there. Harvey goes, just think of your secretary, sir. And he gets on. So funny. Anyway, yeah. Hitchcock, would have to tell. Henry Fonda's far too stupid to know for making a comedy. I had to tell him everything. At one point, somebody claimed that he also said to him that he had to tell Henry Fonda in a Rear Window, halfway through the film, you're looking out a window. He's doing it all to camera. And he looked the other way, looked back, and, Fonda, suppose he said the line, and he wasn't looking outside. So there's no way he could have known what he said as a character. So, Hitchcock stopped, cuts. You have to look outside. You have to look outside when you say that line because there's no way you would know it if you're not looking outside. And he goes, and Henry Fonda look at what? And Hitchcock said, you're looking out a window the entire film. The movie's called Rear Window. And you're looking at something and describing it. And there's a lot of people say that story's complete bullshit. It has to be. It has to be. I get the comedy thing. If you parody, satire, maybe just subtle things. Henry Fonda had to know he was looking out a window in the movie Rear Window. I don't believe it. While shooting it, he had to know that his character is looking out a window. That I don't believe.
You mean James Stewart, right?
Henry Fonda. Oh, James Stewart. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Everything I just said, James Stewart. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart is also the guy, he was far too dumb. I mix them up all the fucking time. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart was Rear Window and Vertigo and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what Jimmy Stewart was the guy that he said was far too dumb. I kept saying Henry Fonda. Good call. You picked that up. Wish you would have picked something up yesterday. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart, and I had to know he was looking out a window. How could he not know that? I'd like to think he was that stupid.
Although he did that well in the Carson appearances, Jimmy Stewart, played that kind of, right?
What do you mean?
Wasn't he like the dumb kind of guest?
So what does that mean? You think it was a?
I think it was true that he.
What do you mean?
I think that he was that stupid.
But no, you just said played it.
Right.
Stupid or playing stupid?
No.
I think very much on Carson and the roasts. He was on Dean Martin roast a couple times. No, I think he was very much doing a character. Without question, he was trying to be dumb for laughs. On the Dean Martin roast, he had the sense of humor. He was very funny on those roasts.
Yeah.
He was reading a script, but I think he knew that. But here's the thing. He might have did that because, that was a rumor about him. Like, a lot of people said, that's what he's known for, like Milton Berle with his cock or whatever. Milton Berle supposedly a legendary comic, supposedly had a huge cock. So that was his rumor. Jimmy Stewart was known as being stupid, I guess, which of the two, you definitely would want the Milton Berle.
Yes.
So yeah, Jimmy, you're right, he did. But like Hitchcock said, that might have been Hitchcock being bitter, as a bitter, fat, ugly guy, and Jimmy Stewart's a movie star. But yeah, I guess that would mean, again, these are all rumors, that he probably fucked Janet Leigh, who was smoking hot. Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, she with Tony Curtis. Janet Leigh from Psycho, the chick in the shower. Chick gets killed in the shower. Had Jamie Lee Curtis with Tony Curtis. And she's young Janet Leigh, gorgeous. Young Jamie Lee Curtis, gorgeous. Supposedly had a cock, though. No. Right? A meanie dick? Right? There's a rumor. Again, not absolutely, I'm not saying this on my podcast. There's a rumor that Jamie Lee Curtis was born with one of those.
There is a rumor.
A micro penis, right?
There is a rumor.
That's what they call it. Micro penis. Dan born with the same thing. So look, I know it sounds insulting and immature. I used to jerk off constantly to that scene in Trading Places when Jamie Lee Curtis peels off that shirt and gets into bed with Dan Aykroyd. I hurt my dick jerking off to that. And then someone told me that Jamie Lee Curtis had a cock when she was born.
Rumored.
Some women have both. Rumored, yeah. Someone told me. The person who told me was not reliable. The person who told me was my friend Eddie, who also told me he was a doctor in the 9th grade. Now, my friend Eddie, it was similar to the Dom Herrera story. Dom Herrera has a great bit where he goes, you ever had one of your stupid friends come up to you when you scrape your elbow, and he goes, Dom, I'm no doctor, but I go to the hospital. And you go, really, Tony? You're not a doctor? I always thought you were a doctor, Tony. Well, remember when you dropped out of the 10th grade to work at the gas station? I was like, did Tony become a doctor? I said, I haven't seen him in a few years. I'm sure, did Tony become a doctor? But I had a similar thing where, my friend Eddie, he told me when we were 28, he was a doctor, an anesthesiologist. He was that kind of bullshitter. Like, I had a problem. He used to tell chicks lies. I'm like, dude, I'm not. Are you trying to fuck me? What? I don't care. Yeah, he told me that. And I had a similar thing because I said, this kid, you know what this kid did? He had a skill, and I've joked about this. This kid had a skill. I don't know how he did it. And when I got in the Howard Stern show, I realized people like this exist with farting. Some people, he could fart the guitar solo for Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin. He was able to go, and it would only be certain times, and he would tell you, wait, I can do it now. Like, he'd stop you. Like, he'd run into, if it was Sunday and he knew you were in church, he'd run into, I could do it now. He knew it was coming. He could hold it in, and he wanted to show people. Nowadays, when a kid could just put on his iPhone and, God, the likes and retweets that would get. But without that technology, in 1982, you had to know a kid with a tripod to come over and wire you up and light it. It took hours. He would wait. He would run in. My friend was at best man at his cousin's wedding with him. I could do it now in the church. And the acoustics at St. Michael's. So anyway, he's the guy who told me he became a doctor. So if I was doing the Dom Herrera, I'd be like, really, Eddie? You didn't become a doctor? You didn't become a doctor? I always thought you were a doctor. Remember when you were farting Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin? I thought this is going to become a doctor. But here's how fucked up my friends are. The Dom Herrera bit, his friend says I'm no doctor. Eddie told me I'm a doctor. And I said, listen, I went to my friends later, and I said, listen, I have to say this, please. I know I'm going to sound ridiculous. Is there any way Eddie became a doctor? And they all almost hit me in the face with laughter. They were laughing because he told them too. He told us he was in the 12th grade. He was a pitcher, although he didn't play on a team. He didn't make the team, and he told us he was getting drafted by the Royals. And Brett Saberhagen gave him a pair of blue cleats. We were astonished. It was the kind of lies where you go, I'm scared of him. Like, if you challenged him on it, he might, the type of guy that would keep arguing until one of you was dead. He'd argue until he was out of oxygen. So I said, why is he saying that? And it was because he's fucking nuts. It's weird. I go, but it was just me and him. It was me and him. I was going by my hometown. I was like, at the time, you were 28, whatever. I was like, living in L.A. And they go, Art, with you, I think maybe because I was on Mad TV at the time, because maybe he's like, trying to up you. I go, really? I go, quite frankly, anesthesiologist, I'm still doing better. I put people to sleep with my jokes. Yeah, Eddie. I don't think he was ever a doctor. Matter of fact, I heard last time someone saw him, he was arguing with an ATM machine on. I got into crystal meth. Oh my God, these two guys! I could say their names: Dean and Frank Remo. Two kids, really, really troubled Italian kids. Their parents were kind of troubled, but the girl that I took to the prom, my high school girlfriend, her father was off the boat Italian, and so were their family. And they had a distant cousin, they were Goombas, they called them, Camparis, from the old country, and they took them in. So they lived with my girlfriend Sue, and we go over there. They were funny guys, nuts. Frank and Dean, Frankie was a pretty good baseball player, but they were just funny guys to hang out with, and crazy in a funny way, though. Okay, this is such a great story. I might have told this years ago on Stern, guys. Might have. Hardcore fans on Stern, they always remember if I repeat stuff because they yell at me. Not for nothing. $7 a month. And, you told that story on Stern at 9:23 a.m., May 13th, 2003. Sorry. Sorry, at Bring Back Jackie.
Do I get a refund? They always end
fuck
it.
You. Sorry, at New Artie Hater. Well, I did a gig in Boston, the stand-up gig in Boston. It might have been the best crowd I was ever in front of. I destroyed. Every tweet was wonderful. Over the top wonderful. One kid, I signed his book in the front row. He thought I rushed it, like I was arrogant. Like I was shaking up here. And he put on Twitter a picture of my signature. He thought it was not good. Good enough? Okay. Look how Artie took the time to sign my book. Fuck him. I used to love him. New Artie Hater. He created a new account in 20 minutes. By the time I got back to my hotel, I checked Twitter because I retweet some stuff and I thank the fans usually. And the guy goes, in 20 minutes, he created a new account, a New Artie Hater, with a picture of my signature. I tweeted him. I said, I have to say this. I don't want to acknowledge you. That's how I sign books. If I had 4 hours to sign your dopey book, that's what it would look like. If I signed the Declaration of Independence, that's what it would look like. I'm almost retarded as far as, handwriting. Asswipe.
The funny thing is that at the Wilbur in Boston, the security guys were going. Does he normally do that? Does he normally go in the crowd? Because we'll yank him off the stage. I go, no, he's fine. He's fine.
First of all, in the crowd, yeah. I go up to the front row and I shake hands, and people run to the stage. They're very enthusiastic. I have the best fans on the planet fucking Earth. The other thing is, a lot of them bring books to the show, and I don't sell merchandise or go out because I don't want to charge people more. I really don't. Sometimes I have great comics do it. I have a lot of respect for. I've done it in the past at times. I don't know. It's a stand-up show. We go there, we have fun. But if someone has a book, especially if they have a book, they bought the fucking book. I try to let people know in that way from doing it a lot that if I go up to the front row, I'm shaking hands. I'll sign whatever they have. But I actually yell out. I go, anybody with a book, come to the front, and security will bring them to the front. I try to sign that because they bought the book, man, and I really appreciate it. So that's what I do that for. And I take more time than others because I see a guy with a book coming towards the stage. I try to figure it out. Yeah. But apparently I didn't sign it good enough for Bring Back Jackie. At the real Bring Back Jackie. So what was I talking about?
The two Italian guys.
Two Italian guys. Okay. So we did, we would do petty crimes every once in a while. Not stuff that was dangerous, but whatever. BB gun stuff. We got an illegal BB gun and we'd shoot it in illegal areas. Stuff like that. Kid stuff. We were about 14 years old. There was a department store in my hometown of Union, New Jersey, on Marsh Avenue, right off Route 22 in Marsh Avenue, called Two Guys Department Store. It didn't make it out to the Midwest, I guarantee you. It's a small East Coast chain. It became a Bradley's, so that type of thing. But
I remember Bradley's.
Right, okay, it had everything you could buy in it. Hiking equipment, sports, cooking, food, whatever. One of those things that plays everything. And camping and outdoors stuff. It had, white water stuff. It was crazy. I don't know what you get that for in Union, but whatever. So we go through, and every once in a while, we'd steal shit in there. Back in the days, not a lot of security. We'd wear sweatpants, and we'd put the stuff, and we'd steal shit, put it down our pants, and, the sweatpants had the band, and it wouldn't go on, and you walk out.
Right.
Walk out with a limp. Steal a wiffle ball bat and walk out with a limp. It was great. The big ball was at the top, though, so you go out with a limp, and you claim, you had elephantitis stomach. Then all of a sudden, the technology mid to late 80s came in with the, it beeped when you walked out, and then you had to try to limp away from a cop with a bat in your nose. A lot of very disconcerting, embarrassing moments in my life. Okay, we go in there. We go to the camping section. There's a big canoe. A canoe. Okay, again, I'm not lying. This is one of the shows you the kind of sense of humor my father had. My father, when he was a quadriplegic, couldn't move from the neck down. And every once in a while, he was so sad, and I could make him laugh, and especially with stories about my friends. When my father was a quadriplegic in the hospital and depressed, he would say, "Tell the Frank Remo canoe story." He would ask me to tell a story, because he laughed every time, and I would gladly do it and embellish. I'm not embellishing this one. This really happened.
A full-size canoe.
Full-size canoe. Frank goes, I'm gonna steal a canoe. I go, why? He goes, and Frank I thought was dumb, but this really made me... This is an example of a story where a dumb guy does something incredibly smart, and you go, maybe I have to change my opinion. Maybe he's smart. And then he does something that you go back to the dumb opinion again. So this is an example of that. He goes, who would steal a canoe? And I go, a retard. He goes, no, a smart guy. I go, why? He goes, no one's going to think they're going to think I bought it. Right. A security guy's not going to challenge me. Who steals a canoe? Like, it's one of those things that's so obvious and big, you're ignored. That type of thing. So we go, I don't know, whatever. And first of all, I said, should I do it? I go, Frank, if you do it, great. If you don't, I'm going to laugh my ass off at you getting arrested for stealing a canoe. I win either way. It's really your decision. He goes up. He takes the canoe down off, slowly takes a canoe, a fucking canoe. Had to be, how big's a canoe? I don't know. 12 feet?
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with the wampum. Let a pie. They're not growing up with that either. They're all fucking playing watching me lose at roulette. So they take the fucking, he takes the canoe down. And Dean, his younger brother, again, probably not a doctor either now. He goes, you better be careful. I don't think this is going to work. Which at the time, that Harvard think tank of three guys, I said, yeah, I got to go. I got to agree with Dean. Okay. Incredible. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Frank walks towards the door, broad daylight, like a Saturday afternoon, 1981 or 2. I remember because he had a Back in Black shirt. And I just went to the AC/DC concert. He puts the canoe on his head. The canoe is on his head. You can't see Frank's head. He puts the canoe's up a little bit so his eyes you can see. He walks out, looks, says hi to the guard. Security guard who was like, had a beer gut, 400 pounds. And he waved at it. He goes, hey, buddy, enjoy it. Like, enjoy it. He said, enjoy the canoe. He walked out with the canoe. He got away with it. He walked out with a canoe on his head. We walked through the parking lot with a canoe on. Okay, so now we get outside, and Dean and I go, oh my God, he's a rock star. You're Elvis, man. I thought we should call him Foolish Frank Remo. I said, my God. It was Dumb Dean Remo and Foolish Frank. I'm kidding. So we go, and now we see the canoe going up and down in the middle of the parking lot, and we run up and go, what's the matter? We thought he was going to drop it. He was laughing. He was laughing, so now the canoe was going, he was wearing like a Stetson hat. So great. And we took the canoe, and these kids were so fucked up, they would steal passports and little stereos out of cars. I never did that. One kid I grew up with, they used to call him Sticky Elbow. That was his nickname. The cops knew that as his nickname because when he would break open a window in a car to try to get the radio, he would do it with his elbow, and the new glass stuck to his elbow. And he would have to, for an hour, to get the glass off his elbow. He'd call him Sticky Elbow. Pepe Chimpers is laminate in Brazil. Sticky Elbow told me that. Pepe Chimpers. Again, politically correct time. I had a kid, Pepe Chimpers. Pepe Chimpers was his nickname, and I don't condone this. His nickname, different time. Pepe Chimpers was a half black, half Puerto Rican kid who looked like a chimpanzee. I don't know how else to put that. And he was always rumor was he was always on coke or speed, so he was always happy and peppy, and his nickname was Pepe Chimpers. Pepe Chimpers grew up. There's an episode of American Greed with Stacy Keach. It's a big show on MSNBC about, greedy people, finance people. Pepe Chimpers, moved down to Florida, started collecting valuable coins, a collection. He would tell people in the mail, I'll send you coins. And they would send the money, never sent it. It was a scam. So Pepe Chimpers stole like $2 million. And it was on American fucking Greed. And the kid we used to call Sticky Elbows called me once in L.A. and said, it's Sticky Elbows. I go, hey, man, hey, Stick, what's up? And then we just call him Stick. And He said, did you hear? I go, no. He goes, Pepe Chimpers is laminate in Brazil. I almost had bumper stickers, man. I almost had bumper stickers on. There's not many towns people come from where you're able to tell someone this. Sticky Elbows called me and said, Pepe Chimpers is laminate in Brazil. Which means he's on the lam. And he went to somehow, Pepe Chimpers somehow made it to Brazil. It's in the American greed. They don't call him Pepe Chimpers in the American. They call him his real name, which I won't say. But Google American greed, guy, rare coin guy went to Brazil. You'll get it. And it's Pepe Chimpers. So he got caught. $2 million he stole. $2 million. And he somehow got the money to get to fucking Brazil. And last I heard, they did not catch Pepe Chimpers. And supposedly Pepe Chimpers had surgery. He looks like a very, very smart chimpanzee now. Oh. Pepe Chimpers. Laminate in Brazil. Sticky died, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 4 years later, I was in L.A. and I saw my friend, Robbie. And I said, Robbie, how you doing? I go, I haven't seen you in years. He goes, no, I saw you at Stick's Wake. That's just Sticky Elbows. So, okay. So Frank Remo steals a canoe. Now we think he's the smartest guy in the world, okay? Now, next day, my hand to God, this is true. The next day, I get a call from a friend of mine who's kind of giggling. He goes, you hear about Frank Remo? I go, yeah, he stole a canoe. I was with him. He goes, no, he's in jail. I go, what happened? They fucking realized it. He goes, no, it's better than that. He goes, well, I go, what happened? The next day, he got caught stealing the oars to the canoe. I'm going to say that again. Frank Remo got away with stealing a canoe. Put it on his head. The next day, he got caught stealing the oars to the canoe. I said, we're in Union, Jersey. This is like sort of the inner city in North Jersey. Where'd you get a canoe? Did he realize when he put it in a fucking puddle in the back? I go, I need oars. He tried to fence it. I go, where'd he find a fence? He goes, he sells passports and radios. He found a fence in Newark for a canoe? What did he find? A mob guy or a drug dealer likes to go on the Passaic River with a canoe? A stolen canoe. What's he got? He goes, and he figured he gave this guy. The guy asked for the oars. The guy was going to give him $80 for the canoe. He said, I'll give you $100 if you get me the oars. Where are the oars? I go, what doing? Okay, so he walks out with the oars. They catch him. They notice it's canoe oars. Security guard, who's dumber than him, I goes, hey, by any chance, did you steal the canoe? I love that story. That's the best ending because of it ends with the security guy being the dumbest guy in the story. At the end of that story, the dumbest guy in the story is not foolish Frank Remo. It's not dumb Dean Remo. It's not yours and truly Artie Lang. It's not Pepe Chimpers, who's laminate in Brazil according to Sticky Elbows. It's a security guard guy who's got a job where he has, at the time he could carry, had a flashlight for God knows what reason, a suit and a tie, an official badge, a name tag, pants that he had to iron every night tucked in, and he said, did you take the canoe yesterday? And I said to Frank, why did he goes, I go, why did you say you stole the canoe? That's a double felony. What do you think? He goes, Art, they had me.
He had it on the top of his car still.
Oh, they didn't have you. Go, no. Well, what kind I need the oars for? Who cares? You don't owe them an explanation? I need the oars for.
Why would he go to a different store?
Well, how many stores have oars for a canoe? By the way, the staff there left the oars. They didn't replace it yet. Like, guy steals a canoe. They just leave it. What did they clean up in that fucking store? Did you steal the canoe? Oh, my God. And Frank says yes.
They had me.
And Frank says yes. If you retold that story, what do you think of my hometown? Every character is almost, if not full-blown retarded. I do a comedy routine now because based on this story, the Remos had a cousin who had an IQ of 71. Okay? Legally retarded, is 70. You're legally retarded if you're 70. If you have an IQ of 70, think about this. You get all of the benefits for being retarded. You first of all get the sympathy from people. Oh, you're retarded. You know. I'm sorry, mentally challenged. And get benefits. But retarded people get benefits. They get free care, stuff like that. Their cousin, Danny, dumber than Dean Danny, Remo. He was at 71. So his father, who makes a security guard look like Stephen fucking Hawking, considered this. He sees a news story. He sees a weather thing. Like he reads the paper, some popular mechanic somewhere, that in Denver, Colorado, you're so high above the water level. It's called Mile High Stadium. That they did a test proved that in a lot of human beings, your IQ drops 3 to 5 points because you're up so high. So they tested people, your IQ, a human IQ, your intelligence quotient drops 3 to 5 points. So the father can't afford, but the thing is, at 71, you're retarded. So he's got a retarded son who doesn't have the benefits because he tests at 71. and you get nothing. So here's the thing. If the father figures, what if I move to Denver? In Denver, he'll be retarded. I'll retake the test in Denver, and I'll have a retarded son and get the benefits. That's what he thought. In other words, here's what's frustrating. If a guy with a 71 IQ goes to the mall, gets a slice of pizza and a Coke, sits amongst normal people at a crowded food court in a mall, and then takes the slice of pizza, dumps it in the garbage, keeps the plate, brings the plate back, takes his pants off in front of everybody, takes his shit on the plate, and eats the shit with a knife and fork. In New Jersey, you get taken to a hospital and people rub your head. You okay? Everything's fine. You get released to your bed. No. In Denver, that's what happens. In Jersey, you get arrested, and you're vilified. I don't know the end. I don't know if they ever got to Denver, but
not by canoe.
But listen, a very, very good lawyer could argue that he was in fact retarded in Jersey too. And I don't know if he ever got to Denver, but I heard he is a security guard. Yeah, you're retarded. I want to do a movie about that called Dumber in Denver. Dense in Denver. The Mile High Moron. So maybe Eli Manning, when he plays his brother, looks and might really be retarded. Oh, that's great. You get all of the benefits. Think about it. And people have a sympathy. Like, you're eating your shit. I'm retarded. Oh, sorry. 71. How can cops or the legal system put it up? That's terrible. At 71, you're retarded, but you're retarded. All right. Let's take a break. All right. We're back to say goodbye. I covered everything. The Dean and Frank rumor thing was spontaneous, but we talked about Trump a little bit. The farce Trump character we'll try to continue with. And I did write a song parody to the song Mother by Pink Floyd about Trump. A preview is we're going to try to produce this, but it's like, Donald, do you think you'll drop the bomb? Donald, do you think Hillary will get schlonged? Donald, will you lose to Dr. Ben Carson? Donald, will you make America fucking great again? Donald, will you stop the Clintons sinning? Donald, will you make us sick and tired of fucking winning? Donald, if they ask you for policies, point to your shiny hair and stall. Oh, yeah. Donald will make Mexico pay for the fucking wall. Donald, I don't mean to be rude. But sometimes if you look real quick, your wife looks like a dude. Donald, the press is giving her shit and saying she's dumb because she asked, what are drones? Ooh, yeah. Tell her to Google it and finally remember when first ladies were smarter than their phones. Hush now, Donald. Don't make Hillary cry. Oh, that's great. That's so fucking great. Oh, we got to keep working on that. Donald, do you think it's true Bill Clinton didn't inhale when he smoked a spliff? Donald, do you think between Bill Clinton's cock and Jeb Bush, which one is more stiff? Oh, I love it. Donald, would they put me in the firing line? Ooh, yeah. Could you say Megyn Kelly's bleeding from her pussy one more time? Oh. Fucking great. Yeah. But everyone ends with, ooh, yeah, Donald make Mexico pay for the fucking wall. And then the last part of that song is, we're working on it. Yeah, if you got any lines, send it. But we're working on it. You know, the end of the Mother song goes, Mother, did it need to be so high? I was thinking of something like, Donald, do you think your poll numbers will stay this high? Out! We're working on it. We're fucking working on it. Okay. Again, Melania, though, is extraordinary. It's ramping up because Melania is getting into the race. She says things in that accent that sound so dumb. I'm not saying she's dumb. You know, it's very difficult to speak a lot of languages. It is. They had a clip of her today. They showed her bringing the 8-year-old she has with Trump to Trump's office. She interrupts him in the office and he's looking at the kid. The kid clearly met him like 8 times. This might be the 8th time the kid met him. But Melania says stuff like this. She goes, they go, you don't seem involved. She goes, I was very involved in the decision. And how'd you tell your son? She goes, I told my son, I pulled him aside. She goes, I explained it thoroughly to him. I said, Daddy's going to be president. I explained it thoroughly. How? I said, Daddy's going to be president. Then she talked about the reason, by the way, she says she's not on the campaign trail because she's a full-time mother. She doesn't have a nanny, like a lot of rich people. She has a nanny. And then she said this out loud. She goes, I have a chef and an assistant. She goes, I do it on my own. I have a chef and an assistant. I do it on my own. The poor mother in Chicago whose son was killed, lived in the projects. I felt bad for her, just crying because she couldn't protect her children. She protected them so long, and then they went out into a bad area, and the poor kid gets killed, and the mom is crying. I want that mom to look at that tape and go, hear Melania go, I have a chef and an assistant. I do it on my own. Unbelievable how out of touch people could be. Out of touch. She goes, I'm busy raising the kid. That's why I can't go. I don't have she goes, he doesn't have a nanny. She has a chef. So the chef covers the meals. That's done. Do you think the chef makes her clean up after the meals? And an assistant basically is a nanny. She doesn't have a nanny. She doesn't have a nanny until she says to the assistant, here's your orders today. Act like a nanny. And tell the chef my egg white omelet with little oil's fucking late. Ooh, ah. Did you need to be so hard? All right, we're done. Another great podcast. Just me and Danny Filato had some personal shit going on today that I solved in a very efficient manner, as I do with everything in my life.
And you had promo for the Showtime special?
At the end, that's Dan's lie we have to cover.
Yeah.
I did. I had the Showtime special. That's right, we got to talk. This Friday, 2 days from now, January the 8th, on Showtime. The Nasty Show, starring Artie Lang. The Nasty Show is a show they do every year in Montreal at the Montreal Comedy Festival. And I headlined it every night of the festival. I was in Montreal for 2 weeks, and I host it. And I do a set up front, a set in the middle, and Gilbert Gottfried is on it, a very funny English comic, Jimmy Carr, Luella, Great comic. Oh, this black chick. She's so fucking funny. She was in Barat and a couple of Sandler. And That's My Boy with Sandler. She's so funny, and I loved her. We bonded at the end of the 2 weeks. So an amazing comic from Canada, Mike Ward, who I got to be friendly with, and just a great group of people. And Gina Yashir, English comic who's so fucking funny. They're all on it, and I host it. So this Friday, we'll talk about it again tomorrow and tweet it like crazy. January 8th, I think it's 10 or 9 p.m. Check your listings on Showtime. The Nasty Show, hosted by Artie Lang, and also this. Friday night, the same night that's airing, I'll be performing live. So I'm a busy guy. I'm all over. I'm at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey at 8 o'clock that night, or 7:30, one of the two, close to that. It's an important thing. I'm not taking a dime. I'm doing a free show. My buddy Jimmy Graham, you can Google him at Jimmy Graham, Graham, Jimmy Jimmy, all one word, of course, and it's for addiction. We've both it's touched his life. There's some people he knows very well, and it's to help. Basically, it's all drugs, all addiction, but there's a heroin epidemic, an opiate epidemic in the country that is killing people slowly. I recommend heroin addicts, I think heroin in Concord or something, or heroin on Cape Cod. Heroin on Cape Cod, it's called. It's either Showtime or HBO. It might be HBO. One of the two, and it's a brilliant documentary about these young kids. Boston kids in Cape Cod addicted to heroin. It's the same thing. They start with painkillers somehow in the neighborhoods. They get too expensive. You go to heroin, which is cheaper, and it's just killing people. And this show I'm doing Friday night is to benefit that. All the proceeds go to a good cause. And Jimmy's a buddy of mine, and I know he's a good guy. So check that out, too. 8 o'clock, if you're in the South Jersey. Pittman, New Jersey is outside of Philly, one of the suburbs of Philly. On the Jersey side, Pittman, New Jersey, Broadway Theater. I've been there before. Artie Lang, Jimmy Graham, and the others for a show for addiction. Great cause. I'll be doing a full set at the end. And then go home and watch me on Showtime. And, of course, that's the night, January 8th, very special because it's Elvis Presley's birthday. It's also the birthday of someone who I hope I'm like when I grow up. One of my favorite people on the planet Earth, my sister Stacy. It's her birthday Friday too, so big night for all of us. All right, happy birthday, sis, in advance. And check out that live gig, Broadway Theater, Pittman, New Jersey, for me and other people, and Showtime that night that I taped in Montreal. Nasty Show, hosted by Artie Lang. I love you all, Dan Filato. Great day again on the podcast. We're going to end the week tomorrow. What's going on tomorrow, Dan? What are we teasing? We got the Pachetti coming in? What's going on?
No, Mike is not coming in. Mike's mom is not feeling well, and he wants to stay with her one more week.
Is that true?
Yeah. Damn. That's what he says.
Mike Pachetti's mother is...
we wish her the best.
I do. I hope she's okay. Mike Pachetti's mom is as good as a human being gets. Well, you know what? I'm glad you told me. I'm going to call Mike... you know what? It's too late tonight. Maybe his mom's sick. Tomorrow I'm going to call Mike and get some details. Sucks here and that. So get better, Miss Pochetti. Mike, our heart goes to you. But is Stacy coming in?
Stacy's coming in. Stacey. Joe Matarese will be here.
Great. Hopefully he won't say anything and we got cut out.
And I want to say hello to Scott and Monica, who are taking baths right now listening to the podcast.
Did they promise you something on Twitter?
No.
It's very not like you to shout out people. Are you going to fuck Monica?
No.
Are you going to fuck Scott?
No.
All right. I love you all. Enjoy the bath. Try to touch yourself, Monica, when I tell the Peppy Chimper story. I love you, Monica. Kidding. Take care. Brush your hair. See you with the big end of the week show tomorrow. First week back. Second year 2, by the way. Artie Quit, Artie Lang Uncensored Podcast. Show number 185?
It's